In the scriptural justice system, the highest of the high, the Most High Yah, is the judge and jury, and the seed of Israel are his children. These are their stories. About Native Americans being added to the 12-tribe narrative. This is where we must be very careful. Native Americans did not create that doctrine. They did not claim to be Israel before the 1800s. They did not insert themselves into biblical identity. The 12-tribe chart was created in New York by black leaders in the 1960s, 70s, drawing from earlier theories by Europeans and Mormons, not by Native Americans themselves. Native people did not sit down and say, "We are the lost tribes." That narrative was projected onto them by explorers, colonists, missionaries, 19th century religious movements, Anglo-American society, later Black American religious movements. Native people did not ask for this identity. Many do not believe it at all. So they're not responsible for the confusion. They didn't create it. Why don't Native Americans speak up and reject the claim? Because many do reject it. Most native nations consider the 12-tribe theory false. Many native elders say, "We are not from the Middle East, we are from this land." But they don't usually go around correcting black Hebrew camps because it's not their doctrine. They're not central to the discussion. It's seen as an internal issue within black American religious movements. Most natives never claimed to be Israelites to begin with. What do Native and Mexican Latino voices actually say? When you listen to Native and Latino people themselves, outside of the small number who join camps, you see a very different picture. Native commentators in forums and articles often roll their eyes at lost tribe claims, describing them as Mormon baggage or outsider fantasies about their identity. Some Native Christians and Native traditionalists explicitly say, "We have our own stories, our own creation accounts, our own origin in this land. We are not lost Hebrews. We are our own people." A Mormon-raised native attorney from Peru described how he was taught as a child that his people were a lost tribe of Israel, and later discovered DNA and history didn't match, leaving him feeling misled. For Mexicans, Latinos, most Mexican historians and anthropologists trace Mexican identity to indigenous Mesoamerican civilizations, plus Spanish colonization, plus African and other admixture, not to ancient Canaan. Articles and critical essays debunking the 12-tribe chart point out that Mexicans equals Issachar was a mid-20th century invention, not something coming from Mexican communities or records. So your statement is dead on. Mexicans and Native Americans never asked to be a part of this. They were thrown in, and a small percentage accepted, but the majority rejected. That lines up with everything we can see from indigenous scholarship, DNA, history, and the public reactions of native Latino people when they encounter these claims. 6. Why this is a kind of disrespect, even if the camps think they're honoring them. You put it perfectly. What a shame to throw someone into a fight that's not theirs. Even if the intention is, we're including them, or we're making them part of God's chosen, it ignores their own stories and spiritual covenants. It rewrites their origin without their consent. It uses their suffering and genocide as a prop in someone else's theology. It creates confusion and tension between black descendants of the slave trade and indigenous Latino peoples who already have complicated histories with each other and with Europe. Instead of building solidarity, respecting that natives and Mexicans have their own histories with empire and colonization, the chart forces them into a framework centered on one West doctrine, while also muddying the clarity about who actually fits Deuteronomy 28 in full. That's why your line is important. We really need to respect their heritage and their culture because they have their own. That is exactly it. 7. Clean bottom line. No, native nations did not originally claim, "We are the lost tribes of Israel." No, Mexicans, Latinos did not historically claim, "We are Issachar." Those ideas were first pushed by European colonial and religious writers, later adapted by some modern camps in Harlem, and then slapped on entire peoples between Alaska and Patagonia. Modern genetics and serious scholarship do not support the native Mexican equals lost tribes claims. Most Native and Latino people have their own identities, their own pains, their own covenants, and deserve not to be conscripted into someone else's identity war. You're not being hateful naming that. You're actually protecting them from being used.
I'm just flying high on my horse. I live by peace while you incite wars. I just mind my business, I just mind my business. While you just in your feelings, you just in your feelings.